Hey TC, it is Tuesday, August 18th, and today I want to talk about what I did at VidCon. So nearly a month ago I went to VidCon. I'm really sorry I haven't spoken about it sooner, but things have been a little crazy at the moment. And it was probably the best experience of my life. It was absolutely amazing. We got to LA around 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then we got a shuttle to our hotel, and then we went to register for VidCon. So we walked up to the Anaheim Convention Centre, and there was this massive sign on the front saying VidCon. My friend and I were just ridiculously excited about the fact that we were actually there. But we were also incredibly tired because we were on a time difference that was 8 hours behind what we were used to. So we went to register, and it was about 7 o'clock in the evening at this time, and we were in line for about an hour waiting, and I remember just nearly falling asleep, literally nearly falling asleep. But eventually we registered, and we were given these bags that had all this really cool stuff in them, and we got given our badges, our official badges, which is just this amazing thing, and you have to have it with you at all times, otherwise you can't get anywhere. And we also got to collect these ribbons around the convention centre. We were also given these programmes which kind of listed everything that was available and all the stuff that was going on, which I will show off my favourite page a bit later. So after checking in, they were playing this live music outside, so we went there for a bit because we didn't want to end up going to sleep too early. And again, I was almost falling asleep because I was so tired. But that was really cool to see some music live, and then we went back to the hotel and just collapsed in our bed. So Thursday was the first official day at VidCon, and I started my day by going into the expo halls, because they had two big halls which were just all of the stuff for the expo halls, and they had booths littered all around them, and there were a few that I knew I wanted to see. And so one of the first I went up to was DFTBA Records, and I noticed that they had some hanklerfish displayed there. And I'd been wanting to get a hanklerfish for ages, and I was going to get one for Christmas, but they'd sold out, and I was going to buy one later, but the shipping is really expensive because I live in the UK. But I spotted them there, and I just thought, I have to buy one. So I did. And this is my hanklerfish, which I love so much. It's so soft and cuddly, and I then had this sat in my bag for the rest of the day and was just ridiculously excited that I managed to buy a hanklerfish. But after that, I went to an interview with John Kozar. He was on one of the stages in the back of the expo halls and just answering questions, and it was really cool to see because I do quite like his channel Paint, and I like seeing the After Ever After videos and the kind of like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings videos. And then after that, I went to my first signing, and this was with Michael Aranda, and it was just amazing. It was so nice to meet the guy. He was just the nicest person, because this was the first time that my friend and I had kind of ever met someone, so we were just really nervous walking in. He was doing signings and selfies, but my friend was shaking so much that she couldn't hold the camera properly, so he actually took the camera and took the picture himself. So now I have a picture with all three of us that was taken by Michael Aranda. And then after that, I went to the first panel that I was just extraordinarily excited about, and this was the Making the Internet Smarter panel, because I love EDU videos. So to be able to sit and watch a panel for an hour with these people actually in person and just seeing them all, and just seeing Hank Green and Emily Grassley and the guys from Ace Up Science and the guy from Resource, and I was like, I watch all they're actually there in person, and I was in the second row as well, so it was just really close, and be able to see them just discuss EDU videos was amazing. And on that day I also got the chance to meet L'Oreal at the This Star Won't Go Up booth, which was just a fantastic experience to me to actually see her at the booth in person, just talking to people and be able to talk to her, and I really appreciated being able to do that. So my Friday was a pretty busy day. It started off with me waking up a bit earlier because I wanted to get to the convention centre slightly early, because I wanted to get to my Ace Up Science signing early. And so I did that, and I was just so excited for it, and I was fortunate enough to meet this group of people, and we were chatting in line for the duration that we were waiting and just talking about different things, and it was amazing. And then I met the guys from Ace Up Science in person, and they both gave me a hug, and I was just so excited about it, just be able to meet them and talk to them, because I watch their channels so much. And it was also really cool because one of the guys had actually taught in England before, and he was telling me where he taught, and I actually knew where it was. So I'm like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. After I went to my signing with ASAP Science, the reason I went early was because there was a meet-up with How to Adult. It was an unofficial meet-up, and I really wanted to go to it. So I went there straight after my signing, and it was amazing because there weren't too many people there, maybe 20 at the most, and T. Michael Martin was actually there in person, just talking to people, and I actually got to speak to him, and I shook his hand, and just actually talking like one-on-one. And I found also another person who listens to Hello Internet. She had a Hello Internet shirt on, and so discussing that with her as well, and meeting, there were a couple of the nerd fighters there, so talking to them, and being in this small atmosphere was really, really nice. And before that, just as I was leaving the signing hall, I spotted Karen Cavett by the exit because she works with HGTV Handmade, and they were kind of working with the signings. And so I went up to her and I said hello, and I got a picture with her, and that was just amazing to be able to see her. And after that, my friend and I went to the Power of Words panel, which featured John Green, which was an amazing panel to hear different people talking about words and how they use words. Then after that, I stayed in the hall for the sexual orientation panel, and what I was trying to do, because there were 3 panels that I wanted to see that day, and the Nerdfighter Q&A was the last one, and I wanted to be near the front for it, so every time a panel ended I would try and move forward each time, so I was a bit further forward for the sexual orientation one. And I wasn't as keen on that to begin with, like it was something that I wanted to go to but wasn't too fussed about if I missed. But it was amazing. I loved it so much, and it was just so moving to hear these people talk about their experiences and what it's been like online for them as people of different sexual orientations, and I find that stuff absolutely fascinating. But after that was the Nerdfighter Q&A, which was one of the best experiences ever. I just loved it so much, and being able to see John and Hank on stage, and at that point I was 10 rows from the front, sat like really close to the middle, and it blew my mind just to be able to be surrounded by nerd fighters with John and Hank on stage. I have since then rewatched the Q&A on YouTube because I found someone who filmed it, and it was just amazing to see it live and be in that atmosphere. But my day ended with one of the best experiences ever. There was a concert that night, and there were a few different people playing, but on there Driftless Pony Club and Hank Green, and it was so amazing. Like Driftless Pony Club, I listened to some of their music but not a lot, but there is one song which is House of 1982, which I really, really love, and I thought they weren't going to play it because it's quite an older song, so I was just waiting and waiting and just enjoying the music, but just thinking they're probably not going to play it. But it was the last song they played, so by that time Wheezy Wade had pretty much lost his voice, so it was mainly the crowd singing, and I was singing along as loud as I could, and it was just so cool because just to hear my favourite song by them. But after that was Hank Green, and by this point I'd been able to move forward a lot of the time, and I was pretty much right at the front when Hank Green was playing, and it was amazing just to sing along with every song, and everyone around me was singing along with every song. And I remember I think it was The Universe Is Weird he was singing, and that is a really, really fast song, and there was this girl stood next to me, and I knew every word and she knew every word, and so occasionally we look at each other singing every word with these massive grins on our faces. And Hank Green kept like coming up to the side of the stage where I was on and looking into the crowd, and every time he did that I kind of freaked out a bit because he was just there. And then near the end he actually stood up like right in front of the audience, and I was like this far away from Hank Green, and it was so cool. Also on that day, while I was waiting for the Power of Words panel to start, I noticed in my programme thing that we were offered a free t-shirt, so I decided to go up and look to see if there were any available, and there were. So now I have my own VidCon shirt, which I got for free, which was really, really cool. But I also recognised someone when I was walking up, and I looked at him and went, that's the guy from BuzzFeed, which was just really, really cool. So I actually got to meet him on the way back, and I got a picture with him. So my last day of VidCon started off again with another signing, which was just really fun again to do. And this signing was with Brooklyn and Bailey. and I went up and I met them, and I was actually lucky enough that Mindy from Cute Girls Hairstyles was there as well, so I actually got to talk to her as well as meeting Brooklyn and Bailey, because it was actually Cute Girls Hairstyles that I found Brooklyn and Bailey from, so it was just really awesome to see both of them there. And then I wasn't really doing anything for a while, so I kind of walked around the expo hall, and I also bought quite a few things. I bought this CGP Grey shirt, which I love so much because I love CGP Grey, I love his videos, I love his kind of like sarcasm in there, it's really my kind of humour, and I love Hello Internet, the podcast that he does with Brady Haran, so it was really cool to get one of his t-shirts. I also went back to the This Style Won't Go Out booth because I wanted to have another look at it. And Wayne Earl was there this time with L'Oreal, so it was really cool to meet him as well as L'Oreal. I was talking to her a bit as well about the UK and about Esther, and it was just amazing. And I also bought this poster from there, which I really love. And as you can probably see from the wall of posters behind me, I am a sucker for Crash Course posters. I absolutely love them. I love Crash Course, so anytime a new one comes out, I have to have it. And I told myself before coming to VidCon, I wasn't going to buy another poster, because I have lots of posters, so I may as well buy other stuff. But then I spotted this, which is one of their new Crash Course posters, and I kind of had to have it. And it's really cool. It's the test speech that John Green gives at the beginning of the first Crash Course episode ever. And I love it so much, and it's now going to be added to my collection of Crash Course posters. But also, one of the times that I was at the DFTBA booth, I actually noticed Matthew Gaydos, one of the workers at the warehouse, and who actually hosted the show The Warehouse for a while on YouTube, was actually there, so I was confident enough to go up and ask for a picture with him, which I love. So after that I went to the closing ceremony, which I don't think was as good as the opening ceremony, but it was okay, it was something to do. And then after that I went back to the PBS booth, which I went to on the first day, I think, because they were making this rug, and there's a video on the art assignment showing it, which I will link down below if I remember, and where you'd have to cut up a t-shirt and then you'd kind of weave it in. I think it was crocheting it in. On the first day when I went to the rug, Sarah Green was actually there. Sarah Green was there helping people with the rug, and I noticed her immediately, and I couldn't believe she was actually there helping out, and I got to talk to her for a bit, and I was quite nervous to go up, but I did actually end up going up and getting a photo with her, which was just amazing. I met Sarah Green, I met the Yeti! I met the Yeti! And then I didn't have much time left before the expo halls closed, and I wanted to see it before I left, and so I did, and it was just huge by this point. And just to see it finished, and to see it just huge, to see all the work that people had put into it. But there were also people signing it, and I actually signed it as well. My name is on that rug, because what they're hoping to do is sell it off with the Project for Awesome, I think. I think that's the plan for the moment. And I also found where Wayne Earl signed it as well. And I also met the guy who was actually going around asking people to sign it, which was really cool because I got to chat with him for a while, which was fun. And I also met another girl there who I got to chat to for a while, and we were just sat on the rug for a bit talking, which was just really cool to do and just to meet new people. And then after that I went to the VidCon prom and mainly just like listened to the music, and that was quite fun to do, just to be there when VidCon officially ended, which was really, really sad. But the thing I wanted to show you in my programme at the end, my favourite page, is this one, which is a page where you could get people to sign it, and I have loads and loads of signatures. I have Michael Martin at the top, Mindy from Cute Girls Hairstyles, Brooklyn and Bailey, there's Michael Aranda, Matthew Gaydos over there, and then there's Sarah Green, the guys from ASAP Science, Karen Cavett, and then Alex from BuzzFeed, who signed it as well, which was amazing. But that was my VidCon experience. It was very fun, I enjoyed it so much, and I can't wait to go back next year, which I'm really, really, really hoping to do. I hope you have a good week, and I will see you on Friday. Bye!